Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first day of InDesign 101. So I've tried to update it. They've done some updates, obviously, over the last 5 years. However, I just want to assure anyone who has taken the current InDesign 101, I saw a lot of people signing up today, and that's because I think the Podia course says new next to it, which is not new. It's the older version from 2017, or maybe it was 2018. It still works. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Just some of the panels and everything have been updated. So I hope you can hear me. I'm on StreamYard, which usually never has any problems. Darlene, how are you? Darlene is showing up just to be nice. She knows how to use Adobe InDesign like a pro. Let's go into today. I have slides, and if you see the course before, I didn't really have slides. I just kind of talked and showed the Adobe screen. And I don't know about you, I like slides better. I'm just a slide person. So hopefully you are too. If you have any questions about Adobe InDesign or anything else, let me know in the comments. And this is where we're going. There are pictures of Lucky. I don't know if he will show up. It is almost his kitty lunchtime. So as it gets closer, he might come say hi, but otherwise he is a cat. He just kind of hangs out by himself. So I have good news and I have bad news. So I will give you the bad news first, and then I'll give you the good news. But today what we're going to do is we're going to do an overview of the whole week and what we're going to cover each and every day. And don't worry, I will leave the live streams up. So you don't have to worry if you missed one that you're not going to be able to see the next one. We're going to do just talk about why buy InDesign, because I think a lot of people who sign up for these courses are just wondering, is it even worth it? Because it is a monthly subscription, and who wants another monthly subscription? Even like, I can't remember, I was talking to somebody about one of the streaming services, and we have Peacock and Hulu and Apple Plus, and like I have pretty much everything. And someone was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna quit." I think it was Hulu, and they pay like $4.99 a month. And I was like, maybe. And of course, we're discussing this over lattes at Starbucks that we just paid $8 for, including our pastry. But for some reason, the thought of having a monthly subscription payment is like a I don't know, just something that nobody wants, right? So you're like, let me just kind of cut back on those. Hey, Natalie. So we're also I have a surprise for you. And then we're gonna talk about InDesign versus Affinity versus Canva and Keynote, because there are a lot of tutorials out there and people making very cute and adorable planners and graphics and ebooks and everything else with those tools. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And so I know some people who are hardcore into one software program will say you can't use the others. If you feel like those are better options, you should definitely use them. Like I don't own Adobe, and I don't get any like stock options or anything. So, it doesn't matter. Like whatever you use is the tool you should use, like what you feel most comfortable with. I feel most comfortable with Adobe InDesign and I love it. So hopefully, you will see the benefits too, and it'll work out. So we'll also talk about where to buy it, which it's kind of confusing. Adobe has a lot of products, and depending on what you need, and everyone has different business needs and might need different applications for different purposes. I want to make sure you get the best bang for your buck depending on what you buy. So just so you know, there's no tutorial like looking at InDesign today. We're just going to get started with what to buy, what's the best deal, and we'll look at some of the alternatives that are out there as well. We'll also talk about where else you can find Adobe InDesign templates, support options, and your surprise number 2. Hi, Antonia. Tracy, I want to learn InDesign once and for all. I'm paying for a monthly subscription. It's a beautiful product, but it's not super easy. That is very true. So don't worry. We're not going to go through all the bells and whistles. And just so you know, even most applications I use, like Photoshop, Illustrator, I maybe know how to use 2% of the application, not even kidding. And I still get by just fine and everything is okay. So I think that's the problem, because once you buy something, you feel like you need to like use all of the bells and whistles, because otherwise, what did you pay for? But you're really just paying for a tool to get you from point A to B. And you want the best and fastest tool. And to me, that's Adobe InDesign. And it's just the same with like streaming services. Sometimes, I mean, we got Apple Plus recently just so we could watch the TV show Loot and that movie Luck. with the kitty cartoon, because those are the best. I don't feel compelled though to watch all the things that are on there. But I could see like you do feel kind of like you're missing out and not getting your total money's worth. But you shouldn't feel like that about software. You should mostly just feel like this will get me the fastest way to a professional looking product and help me to get more clients maybe. I'm in a cheapy class, but taking everything supplemental I can. You know who is really low cost that I love is Dan over at Bring Your Own Laptop, BYOL, I think is the how you say it. Anyways, Dan, I think his subscription is something crazy inexpensive, like $2 a month or something. It's nothing. And he has every Adobe certification under the sun, like Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator. He is certified in all of it. And he loves just teaching classes. So I would look into that as an option if you like want a good InDesign course. I love InDesign and all the Adobe, although the Adobe Creative Cloud subscription is expensive, I feel it is worth it. I feel exactly the same too. All right, let's get into today. So the bad news is the workbook isn't ready. And I know I promised you even this morning, I was like, it's going to be ready. The truth is I am designing the slides. I'm changing them. I'm moving them around. I don't have any slides. I'm starting from scratch. And there's new things that I'm adding and what to put in. So two things are going to change. One, the actual final course for Adobe InDesign 101 will be different than the live streams. I just paid for a workshop. It was a Squarespace workshop on Fluid Engine. And if you didn't know, I'm trying to move my site from WordPress to Squarespace. And they just made a big change to their software. And this girl had this really great, I have like a my lip. Okay. This girl had a really great live stream about Squarespace Fluid Engine updates, but it was a live stream and it was so long and chatty like me. And I was like, I didn't pay to listen to like banter. So because of that, I am re-recording this because I know how painful it is to watch a live stream. So we are going to have it much more condensed and easy when you actually have the course, if you want to refer back to this. But don't worry, the live stream will be up. Or will it be up? I'm planning to do like giveaways, and I know YouTube is kind of weird about that, so I might have to take those down, but they'll still be up for the rest of the month. So that is why it's not there, but you're going to love it because usually the workbooks, and this happens a lot when people have courses and they're like, I'm going to get you ready to like buy something big at the end. There's nothing to buy at the end of this. This is just here because every template I make is made in Adobe InDesign or Photoshop. And I think I actually have let me take that back. I have a wedding invitation suite that I created in Illustrator. So it's really there because if you don't know how to use Adobe InDesign, you're not going to want to buy any of my products. So this will be free forever. And that's the reason that I have this. And mostly because I found InDesign very hard to use. And I found a lot of the tutorials out there just too overwhelming. So this is like the bare bones minimum of what you need to like get up and running with templates. Just so you know, it doesn't like try to teach you how to create a document from scratch because that is a massive undertaking. This is just teaching you how to update my templates or any templates that you find online. All right. So the good news is I have giveaways. So like I said, we might have to take this down if YouTube, I like Carbex, if YouTube gets upset. All right. So first is the card deck printer list. I am so excited about card decks. I have 2 card decks ready to go, 2 Oracle card decks. They have 48 cards in them. And I am working really, really hard on a tarot card set. So all of those card deck templates will be available 100% by the end of the year inside of Planner Pixies for free. It's just included with your membership. Or you can purchase those separately. So as soon as those are ready to release, I will share them with you. Yeah, so card deck printers. Where do you get stuff printed? Who can do it? Who makes that pretty velvet pouch packaging? Who can make card decks? Who can make tarot decks, right? Who can do print on demand? So all of that is inside the card deck printer vendor list. Now, again, if you're already in Planner Pixies, you 100% have access to this. So you already have this, but if not, then this is a giveaway that I have. If you're already in Planner Pixies, we can do a consult to talk about anything you want. If you want to do a one-on-one or something else, because you already have access to it. All right. So let's go ahead. Next giveaway. I just saw this morning. It was the sugar paper back to school planner. So you don't have to worry about, like, most of the planners out there right now start in obviously January and then go through the end of the year, which you don't really need all those pages. But this one is perfect. It starts mid-year and then goes a whole year. So I just thought this is really cute. I love the dots. You do have to be in the US to win it if you do win it. So yeah, so if you are here, make sure just to say hello in the comments, because I will be picking somebody from the comments to win these prizes. All right, where is the course? So this will, like I said, just to be really clear, this will be on YouTube only for August. By September 1, I'll have re-recorded all of these lessons, maybe updated some slides. You know how, like, you start talking or you get questions, you're like, oh, I should have added that, or that's a good thing to put in there. So that will be different too. September 1, the new content will be out there, the updated workbook, and it will all be on ThriveCart. So if you may or may not notice, I have migrated everything from Podia to ThriveCart. Now, the main reason I migrated it was because Podia has a monthly fee. ThriveCart is a one-time fee. However, because my website isn't done and all the links kind of go over to Podia, I still have both platforms. So it might be a little confusing right now, but that's the only reason I have both, is because I am just a little slow on the Squarespace migration train. And that's mostly because they didn't update. I'm not sure how to use it. I was sick the last time, yada, 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 right? So you can still find everything on both platforms, but InDesign 101, the new version, will only be on ThriveCart. The old version will stay on Podia until we just leave Podia, which hopefully will be like in the next couple months. All right, so it will still be free. Just like I said, there's no reason for me to charge for it, and there's no big like sell at the end. And yeah, that's it. So how do you access it? If you are already in InDesign 101 on Podia, you'll just automatically be migrated over when I go to ThriveCart. And if you haven't noticed, like when I did the original migration, if you've ever bought anything from me or been in a free course, you'll see like you got a little note that was like, hey, it's from ThriveCart, which is the only annoying part about ThriveCart. And then it'll say, hey, you have a new course. And I had a lot of people message me. They're like, you've been hacked. And I was like, no, I've migrated over. So the other option is on September 1, I will send a link and you can sign up. You can just be double, triply sure that you are inside of the course. And there won't be any, there was a feature inside of Podia where I was able to drip courses, and it accidentally got turned on for InDesign. I know a lot of people are like, why do I have to wait a day to see lesson 2 or 3, right? They're really quick. There is no dripping. It's just everything is automatic. I don't really, honestly, I don't believe in dripping. I have been in courses where they drip feed the content. And unless you're creating it, which I totally understand, I just kind of get annoyed. I'm like, it's there. Why didn't you just give it to me? I find that really irritating. So I would never do that to you. And yes, the workbook will be inside of there. All right. Next thing, 5-day overview. So we're going to cover each of these days. It's pretty much the same as before. Again, it's just because everything's been updated and maybe I am smarter. I don't know. Am I smarter? Possibly. Or maybe I've figured out other things. Or in theory, in the last 5 years, I've gotten more questions about things to do. Although, to be fair, I've noticed, and I don't know if this happens with everybody else, I was actually better at explaining InDesign and planner design and everything else prior, when I first started out, than I am now. And I see that happen a lot with experts. And I think that's because as I've become more knowledgeable and better at using InDesign, I do a lot of things that I don't even think about. And so I don't think to mention. Versus in the beginning, I was like, oh, well, because I was watching my video and it was like, you can start InDesign from here or here. And I was like, oh, I would have never told anyone how to get the application started. I would have been just like, open it. And so anyways, so it was good for me to watch my old videos. So that's why I'm saying they're not bad, even though they're older, because sometimes you're always like, newer is better, older is worse. So, so yeah, they're not bad. So this is today. We're just going to go through where to buy it, your best options. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about setting up your workspace, Adobe libraries, views, and clearly I put a plus. There was something else I was going to add. Text. We're going to talk all about text, Adobe fonts. It's kind of funny. They used to call it Adobe Typekit. They called it Typekit and then Adobe Typekit, and now they just call it Adobe Fonts. So I think this is a good lesson for everybody. If you're trying to name a course or a workbook or a printable or a planner or your business or anything else, the simplest solution is always the best solution, because you're just confusing people and probably losing customers, right? Because I know when I heard Typekit, I was like, I don't know what that is. But Adobe Fonts sounds pretty obvious. Next, we're going to talk about images, Adobe Stock, and clearly, again, I had something else to add and I must have forgot. And then pages, parent pages. So these used to be called master pages, and you'll notice too, especially with templates, that it's a little confusing because Adobe just changed this wording very recently and to be more PC, and master pages is a default in there. And a lot of templates, including mine, still use the word master because that's just the default that was in Adobe InDesign when we created those templates. And when you open those old versions, Adobe does not automatically change it. And the reason it doesn't automatically change it is because a new document automatically has the word master pages at the top. Well, in the past, before they changed that. And then you could change it. You could change it, instead of master pages, you could say, you know, page A template, or page B template, or my dates template, or like what I do for the dated planners is all of my parent pages are January, February, March, April, or whatever. So that logically makes the most sense to me. But most people with master pages maybe just left the word master and they only changed the beginning shortcut, which is A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. So you will still see that in a lot of Adobe templates, whether those were created by Adobe or somebody else. I did know some of the Adobe templates still have that. I mean, it's a pain to go back and like change that everywhere. So yeah. What else? Images, pages. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll talk about moving pages, duplicating pages, because that will probably be the first place that you'll start. All right, we are doing a giveaway. So we're going to do, hopefully you're in the US, whoever I pick. Hey, Google, give me a number between 1 and 10. We have 4. All right, so we are going to go from the top because I like to reward people that were here early. We have Darlene, Nor, Tatalie, Antonia. I hope you're in the US, Antonia, because you won the sugar planner if you were in the US. If you are, drop me an email at lisa@prettyfabulousdesigns.com. Must email me today. Someone, I should say this with giveaways, someone messaged me, because I do book giveaways all the time on the book channel, right? And so, you know, it's a lot of work to go out to reach out to all these different authors and ask them to do a giveaway and do a promo for the book. And so when people win, I'll say, message me. And sometimes they'll message me right away, sometimes like in a few days. One person messaged me 4 months later, and I was like, who is this? And what, like, when did you win this giveaway? And I had to tell her, like, I just wasn't going to do it because I felt kind of embarrassed because, one, I told the author, like, oh, it's going to be so great for your book. And then she was like, what happened to the winner? I'm like, they just didn't get back. And I messaged this person like two or three times. So yeah. Now I'm just ranting. See, this is why we cannot upload live streams to the actual course, because if I was like a student, I'd be kind of annoyed that I had to listen to that. All right, Antonia. Yay. Okay, so you must be in the US. I'm guessing you're in the US. Who else came by? Dominique, thank you for making this change. You're welcome. Maru, I thought you reconsidered to teach how to design a digital planner from scratch. I don't know what you're referring to. I have a course that teaches you how to create a digital planner from scratch. That is inside of the store. If you go to programs.prettyfabulousdesigns.com, that will teach you how to make a digital planner from scratch using InDesign, I think. Pretty sure. Oh, it's part of Planner Academy, so you do need that other part to it. True. I'm learning from complete novices, so that have 100 subscribers and some seasoned creators for that. Yeah, it's true. It's really weird how sometimes when you're a beginner, Sometimes we're just better at teaching it. All right, so let's get into today's stuff. Adobe is a subscription-based software. So just so you know, and this happens, I don't know why, I think it happens more than people want to admit. When you are looking for Adobe software, you're probably like looking at alternatives, and then some people are looking for discounts, and others are looking to see if there is a one-time fee that they can pay. And if you see those links, do not click on them. It is spam or worse. So this is a monthly subscription. There are no other options through Adobe, through a third party, or anywhere else. Now, I also say do not buy this through Amazon. Some people buy it through Amazon. They just like their Amazon account. It just pops up. Yes, you can buy the software through Amazon. I'd highly recommend not doing that. It's just easier with tech support. When you call in, they validate your account. And also, just so you know, if you buy a 1-year subscription of Adobe Creative Cloud, InDesign, or whatever, it says you're locked in. Even though it says that, 100% that is not true. Adobe's a huge company. They're really not worried that you have a subscription you want out of. They're going to let you out of it. Some other small companies are maybe a one-on-one coaching kind of setup. They might not let you out because they're just one person. They want the money, or a small business. But Adobe will just let you out of that contract. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. So they do have trials. They have 30-day trials. Some of them are 14 days or 7 days. Sometimes it varies, but usually it's a 30-day trial. They do have discounts if you are in education or nonprofit. And the rumor, and I don't want to validate this because I don't know for sure, is that if you just put in any email and say that you work for education, in theory, you will get the education discount. Don't know if that's true, so I don't want to confirm that. I have a regular just business account. They do lots of updates. So usually the Adobe Max conference is usually October of each year. And I actually spoke it last year if you wanted to check that out. But the Adobe Max conference has a ton of speakers. And if you attend virtually, it's free. If you attend in person, it's a lot of money. I can't remember how much it was. The last time I went, it was in San Diego. So even though I paid the registration fee, which I think was like $1,200 or $1,400, it didn't seem that expensive because I could just drive down the street to it. But what was my point? Oh, virtually, because of COVID now, you're lucky. Everything is offered online, and a virtual registration is free, and you still get the same knowledge. You just don't get the networking. And honestly, I didn't network at all at the Adobe conference. I mean, one, I am an introvert, but two, it was mostly when I chatted with people, they were mostly corporate people like that work for, I don't want to say real companies, but that do Adobe InDesign as their day job. So it wasn't really other small businesses like you're thinking when you go to some of these other conferences that are more focused towards sales funnels or something more email marketing services or something like that. And yeah, it's just very different. Even when I spoke at Adobe Max, the majority of the questions, and even when I did no, that's not true. It was a 4-hour live stream. It was like the longest live stream I've ever done, doing on Adobe's YouTube channel. And it was mostly students, like college students or high school students that were asking about careers as graphic designers, like working for somebody else versus like, I think most of you who are here are like me. You're trying to do this as a side hustle or make a full-time business out of it. So, if you're worried like, oh, I'm going to miss out on all this great networking at the conference if I'm not there in person, I don't think that's actually true. And I haven't found that to be the case either as an attendee or as a presenter virtually or on their YouTube channel. So just throwing that out there. Sign up for the conference. It's free. You can sign up for the Adobe Max conference right now if you just Google it, and save your spot. Also, if they have any tech issues, you'll see updates come through like regularly. So I feel very confident, like the software works great. And tech support. So I really like, they have forums. Well, I don't like the forums. I cannot be bothered with a forum. It is so painful for me to look through a forum unless I just happen to Google the answer and it was written by somebody else in the forum or linked to a video. But they have a super active forum community. They have user guides. They have video tutorials. Even inside the tools, if you hover over something, it's like built into the tool. I don't know if anyone's noticed that, and it'll pop up a video and explanations on how to use it. And the best part to me, the number one reason why you would pay for this is they have phone support. So there's been a lot of times I can't fix things. Well, there's a lot of times I just can't do something, or there's something wrong with my file. Every time I call tech support, it is a long wait, I will say that, but they will share my screen with me. They'll take over. And when they can't figure it out, they will let me email the file to them. They'll work on it. They'll actually get back to me in a few days, and they'll have either fixed the file or done something to it. So I feel like the support that you get is grade A, and they don't really advertise it. I think it's just kind of a given. Again, like I said, because it's a large company. All right. Adobe is a soft, so you can sign up for just Adobe InDesign all by itself. And right now I think it's like $20.99 per month. Or you can sign up for Creative Cloud and you get everything. I think the best value is definitely Creative Cloud, because once you learn how to use one Adobe product, the rest of them are not exactly the same, but they're very similar. And honestly, 90% of the world, I just made up that percentage. I don't know if that's actually true, but I feel like the majority of the world is using Adobe products. And you'll find a ton of tutorials. Like I said, when I Google stuff, I usually get an answer on what I need to do using Adobe InDesign. Hiring help, like if you need another person to help you with your design, or someone else to kind of, like I said, like fix something for you, you're going to find a ton of people that do that. So I always think 100% like it is definitely worth the investment for Creative Cloud. And plus, just the fonts alone, if you think about the fonts that you buy, and I know if you're like me, I like hoard fonts. I have tons of fonts. Sometimes I actually buy fonts twice because I didn't realize that I purchased something on one website like Creative Market, and then I'll purchase it again on Font Bundles or Design Cuts or something like that. And then I'll end up with two and I'll feel kind of silly. But I do love fonts. And if you love fonts, you're going to get access to like 20,000 different fonts with Adobe Fonts. So you don't have to worry about buying some of them, which you should always check. I've done that too, where I bought something that was already free to me inside Adobe Fonts because I just was too silly to even check. So, just for that reason alone, I think it's worth it. Here's what I actually use inside of Adobe Creative Cloud. I use InDesign. Obviously, I use Acrobat, and that is the professional version of Adobe Acrobat, so that you can go paperless and you can combine files. I had a whole series of videos on that. And also you're able to scan things in, right, with your phone. Adobe Photoshop, that's where I create pretty much all of my graphics. I used Illustrator to create some wedding invitations. I'm actually not that well versed in Illustrator, so I don't do a lot in there. Adobe XD, I am totally confused about that, but I really like it. It's for website design. So that's why I'm using that, but I'm just learning. And then Rush. So I use Rush all the time for client social media work. So those are the applications that I use. I used to use Premiere. I tell everyone this. I had to switch over to Final Cut Pro. Adobe Premiere, I don't know why. It just took a long time to render videos. They did make an update and I heard it was better, but now that I've moved to Final Cut Pro, I'm just staying over there. Free apps. Adobe actually has a lot of free apps. Don't get too excited because I know you're seeing the Photoshop icon. That's Adobe Photoshop for iPad. The Photoshop Express, Photoshop Mix, all of these things are free. So just so you know, don't pay for them in case you're confused. And Adobe Sign. I think this confuses a lot of people because the professional version of Adobe Acrobat that you get with the Creative Cloud membership does have email, like a signature capability, right? You can send it to someone, you can ask them to sign it right within the document. But when you actually want, I don't want to say a valid signature, but something that could legally hold up, you really want Adobe Sign. So Adobe Sign is $300 a year. That is their small business plan. That's the lowest plan that you can get. And you can do signatures where you see people sending things, they get validated, they get a copy, you get a copy. That's Adobe Sign, not Adobe Acrobat Pro, which is one where I just send you a PDF. You kind of sign it, maybe sign it. I don't know what you're doing with the document. You just hit that sign button at the top. It puts like your name in like a script cursive font and sends it back to you. That is Adobe Pro, not Adobe Sign. So And also, just so you know, if you have an application like HoneyBook, it also collects the signatures for you, so you don't have to do that. And HoneyBook, I actually have 10 lessons inside of Planner Pixies, which is free. So just saying. All right, so let's talk about Affinity Publisher because this is, I want to say relatively new, but they're growing a lot. It is a one-time fee. And because it's a one-time fee, it seems much more appealing to pretty much everyone than Adobe InDesign. Now, Affinity Publisher does have some applications that complement that. I can't remember. I think Designer is their version of Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Camera or something like that, which also has a one-time fee. So the only problem is, well, I shouldn't say there's no problems. They're just drawbacks. You can edit any of my files as long as it's in the older IDML format, which I pretty much, I think now 100% provide IDML and the new INDD format for every single template that I create for you. So you can open the older IDML file in Publisher. It works very similar to Adobe InDesign. I did a walkthrough on my website because I do have Affinity Publisher. They had a sale last year for Black Friday, so I was like, I might as well just buy it and try it out. And especially because it's just a one-time fee, right? Like it's true. It was kind of like a no-brainer. And it was usually like, I think it was $15 off. So I only paid $39 for it for Black Friday, in case you were thinking about it and wanted to wait. And it kind of works. It worked exactly the same. The only thing I couldn't find were parent pages, but they were in there. Someone like pointed them out later, or maybe I found it towards the end of the video. It looks a little different. Some people actually like this interface better. Now, you can also use Keynote. I know you've seen tons of videos that show you how to create a planner in Keynote, Canva, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, even PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not here to like say you can't use them or they're stupid or anything. You should use whatever gets you, like I said, fastest from point A to point B. And, you know, the only reason that I switched from Adobe Premiere over to what am I using? Final Cut Pro is because it's faster. It just gets me there from A to B faster. It processes it faster. It works better with Macs. But, you know, otherwise I loved Premiere. I knew how to use it. There was a huge learning curve when I switched. So, you know, whichever one that you're going to go with, make sure that you stick with that decision because going back and forth and having to learn multiple applications is, as you know, painful and it's going to slow you down. And it definitely will not get you anywhere faster from A to B. The biggest limitations with the ones in red is that the features, right? You can't do as many things. They don't have as many capabilities. They're really just there because they do something other than help you create planners or ebooks, right? Canva is meant for people who don't want to learn graphic design. I don't think people get that. Like everyone's like, oh, I love Canva. I can do this in Canva. And there's nothing wrong with Canva. It's great, but it is purposely there for people who don't want to learn a lot of tech stuff, right? There's not a bunch of courses on like how to use Canva. If you had to take a course on how to use Canva, then it hasn't done its job, right? To be a super easy solution. So keep that in mind. The other limitation with Affinity Publisher is if you have a question, good luck. You are on your own 100%. They have forums. And like I said, you might love forums. I don't want to look through forums. I find them painful. And also, I think too, I don't like Twitter. And I highly believe people who like Twitter probably are more open or enjoy looking through a forum more. Whereas like I don't because there's like a random comment, right? Like someone's asking a technical question about how to add new pages. Someone else throws something in there about dogs or cats that they don't like. Someone else puts something in about a TV show. And then so you have like, it's like the Wild West. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just takes a little bit longer to find the solution that you need. And keep in mind, there's just less people in the forums answering things for Publisher than there are for even the Adobe forums because they just have less users. They're just smaller. However, having said all that, they have announced that they're coming out with a version of Affinity Publisher for iPad. So that could be a game changer. or it could be a total dud. And the reason I said, and they haven't put anything in there about timing, so I have no idea when that's coming out. However, oh, I should show you. I have an unboxing video coming out tomorrow with my new sketchpad. Wait, can you see it? So our sketchboard, it's a sketchboard. So this is my iPad, and this holds it so it can be at a kind of like 40-degree, 45, just so it can be like on the table, but elevated a little bit. And I really like it because it has all of this extra space for like ergonomic things to do stuff. So that's why I said it could be a game changer. I'm totally open to it. I'm going to buy it because I would love to be able to do more things on the iPad than on the desktop, just to get maybe sometimes just a change of scenery or like a better support for my back. I don't know. So that's why I'm excited about that. Tracy, are you setting up interiors and covers for your own books in InDesign, the planners, or both? I set up everything on InDesign. Sometimes I do the covers on Photoshop, like the texture and the layout, and then import it into InDesign. All right. iPad version. So if you've tried, so there's no version. I know the next question might be, is there a version of Adobe InDesign that you can use in the iPad? There is not. So on your iPad, you can do, I think they have Photoshop, Illustrator, a couple things that you can do there. They do not have the same bells and whistles and functionality. However, I think the purpose is just that you can use an Apple Pencil instead of having to run out and get a Wacom tablet whenever you have like what do I need? Like hair. Hair is very difficult to draw with your mouse, right? Having to click that. And it's also very difficult to try to get when you're trying to take a transparent image and someone has like flyaway hair, you could help kind of just draw a line around that faster with your pencil than you can with your mouse. So that is the main advantage to using that. I confess, I love Canva. It's easy to learn. Yeah, that's good. That's what it's there for, and that's why it's making so much money. It's just easy. A lot of people don't want to learn and spend a lot of time doing stuff, and that's why this is like a super easy, just 5-day course with simple subjects. So you don't have to get bogged down in a ton of details. Even though I'm totally talking forever, the lessons in the course are only going to be 8 minutes or less. Computer requirements. All right. I think pretty much everyone has this, but just to reiterate, whether you have a Mac or a PC, you're going to need about 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's what they say are the minimum system requirements. However, I think you need at least 16. And even honestly, with 16, it was kind of slow on my MacBook Air. When I went over to my MacBook Pro, which had 32 gigabytes of RAM, it was still kind of slow. And so I upgraded to the big like cheese grater computer for Apple. And I was able to put 96 gigabytes of RAM. And I still sometimes have issues. I get that beach ball of death. So nobody wants the beach ball of death, right? It slows you down, definitely does not help you get from point A to B faster. And it's kind of annoying, right? And the whole time, whenever I see the beach ball, I'm like, oh no, please don't let the computer like crash and die, because I don't remember if I saved this file or not, right? I was just trying to move something or do a change. So I would say the more RAM you can have, the better. To me, 32 really is the minimum to use any of these applications, especially like the daily planner. And I don't think I'll ever make another one again, because I don't know anybody who has as much disk space as me, even with 96 gigabytes of RAM. And I've shut literally everything down, restarted my computer from scratch. Because it has 381 pages in it, it's just slow. It's like really hard to click around and move around to different pages. And that's why the second updated daily planner was in a quarterly format. It's just, I don't know who could update that if you bought that planner. They say you need 26.3 gigabytes of disk space. Most apps have that. Remember, you need probably like double that just to do the installation, because it has some temp files it needs to hold at the time. Jennifer, beach ball of death. Everybody knows the beach ball of death if you have a Mac. Darlene, I use all the products I've bought from you in Affinity Publisher. Great, but I still watch your how-to Adobe videos because I can usually find the similar feature in Affinity. Perfect. Jennifer, I use a Surface Book and got it with 32 gigabytes RAM because I do a lot in Photoshop, AI, and now InDesign, Illustrator. Yeah, the thing is, if you have a PC, they're actually, I think you need less RAM, to be honest, because PCs just have less going on than the Mac. Not in terms of features or functionality, just less going on in the background functions. I remember, so my last roommate, boyfriend, whatever, was a IT software developer. And when I told him I wanted to buy an iMac, he was like so upset. He's like, I will build you a computer. And I was like, I don't want you to build me a PC. He's like, it's going to be so much faster and more efficient. This is the dumbest solution I have ever seen. And I was like, look, I really kind of just want it because the iMac is pretty. I want to work at something pretty. And he was just like, this is so ridiculous. I can't even talk. So he always built his machines from scratch, and had parts that he would buy, and it was fast. It was true. His computer was faster. But I still just really like the pretty Mac. Anyways, my point is PCs can be more efficient. And I personally just choose to use a Mac because I think it's pretty. All right, most computers have this, so I don't think it's a really big worry. All right, so my final recommendation, we're wrapping up, and I'm going to do the last giveaway, is you can cancel your Adobe Creative Cloud subscription anytime. I really think that's the best option. Or if you're kind of like, I'm really not sure if I want to use InDesign, you could start with InDesign only, do the trial, pay the $20.99 per month, and then wait until Black Friday. They might have a sale between now and Black Friday, but because it's so close, it might not happen again until Black Friday. If you're on my mailing list, I always send you a note whenever they're having a sale, because you never know. People might just be on the fence. They might have quit their membership, and but they see the sale, they want to join again. And just so you know, I have the sale price, and it says it expires at the end of the year. I have done that little game where I'm like, I'm going to quit. And they're like, oh, why are you quitting? And I'm like, oh, because you're charging me the regular price. And they're like, oh, we will extend it for another year. So you're pretty much in good hands. Plus, if you think about it, the Black Friday sale, if you buy it during Black Friday, it will always be going on every year at Black Friday. So there would be no reason for them not to just extend you that price, in my opinion. All right, time for the last giveaway. I don't know why it says the same thing. It is definitely not that one. It is, we already gave that away. It is the card deck vendor list. So, hey Google, give me a number between 1 and 10. 3. All right, so we have Jennifer, Darlene, Jennifer. All right, Jennifer, you won the card deck printer list. So send me an email to Lisa at Pretty Fabulous Designs. I even know my email, designs.com. Today. All right, send me an email today. I will send that off to you right away. I'll just do a reply, and I hope everyone's having a fabulous, wonderful day, and I will see you again this time tomorrow. And yes, I will be pretty chatty. All right, bye everyone.